In this step-by-step tutorial, I will show you exactly how to set up Yoast the right way and how to optimize your pages and posts so you can rank your website inside of Google. Log into your WordPress website. If you're still logging in using WP Admin, it's not a very safe way, so please watch my tutorial because you don't want to get hacked. To install Yoast on our WordPress website, you go to Plugins, Add New Plugin. Then type in on the right side, Yoast. Then we see over here Yoast SEO with more than 10 million active installations. That's a lot, and it is because it was the first serious SEO plugin created in 2012, and it really changed the WordPress SEO world. Fun fact, they had more than 140 employees working at Yoast SEO. Press on Install Now. Well done, let's click on Start First Time Configuration. In this phase, I don't want to start with Yoast AI, so I'm going to close this message. Welcome to the first time configuration. I'm going to walk you through all these steps, and after that, we're also going to talk about all these settings in here. And after that, we're going to optimize a real page so you know exactly how that works. Let's start in here. The first button we press is Start SEO Data Optimization. Click on it. Now, Yoast is going to do some technical things on our website, and hey, we already analyzed and optimized our SEO data. Excellent. And then we press on Continue. Then we need to tell the search engines if this website is about an organization or is it maybe about you, a person. Can be both, so choose the right one because it influences rich snippets. Those are those little cards that you sometimes see in the search engines. This website is for an organization. Then we're going to change the website name and the organization name. Those two can be the same thing, but also if your organization name is different than the website name, then just fill it in differently. In our case, the name of this website is Let's Talk Mortgages, and the organization name is Mad Mortgages. Then we're going to change the organization logo. Now, the only thing you need to worry about is if this image is high resolution, but also a square. So no rounded, no rectangles, like this is not good because it's 281 by 176. That's not a square. So let's go with this one, 707 by 707. Perfect. Press select. There we go. And then we press on Save and Continue. Here we can add in our social media accounts, Facebook, X, and maybe you also have LinkedIn or Instagram. Then just press on Add Another Profile and put them in over there. Once you have filled in all your social media profiles, we go over here and press Save and Continue. And then we can sign up for the weekly Yoast SEO tips. If you want this, fill in your email address or else just leave it blank. Are you open to help and improve our services? Yes or no, collect their site data. I will not be doing this on this website, and I press Save and Continue. Well done. The next step is to click over here, go to your SEO dashboard. In your Yoast SEO dashboard, you will see notifications and problems found on your website. What you will also see a lot is join free webinars, check out the latest news, updates or upgrades to Yoast SEO Pro. All these things will be visible in this alert center. So I'm going to close this one. If you want your website to be crawled and indexed by the search engines, we need to set things up properly. Let's go to Settings. Now don't worry, I'm going to walk you through all these settings in here and explain to you what choices you need to make to be correctly crawled and indexed by Google. First, we're going to configure what features we want to use on our website. The first thing is the SEO analysis. Of course, we need to enable this, so keep this on. Readability, very important, also keep this on. And then we have a new feature called Inclusive Language Analysis. If your target audience, for example, doesn't like to be addressed with him or her, this module makes you aware of it while writing your content. But not only that, also words like obese can be signaled and flagged like, hey, maybe you want to use another word to be more inclusive. You can enable that if you want it. I'm not going to enable this feature for this website, but be my guest, of course, to do it. Now, all the other features in here are enabled by default, and that's a good thing. So we're not going to change anything about all the features that are enabled on this website. Then we go over here to Site Basics. Then we can change the basic info of our website. The website name, we've already put it in, but maybe you also have an alternate website name, like a shorter version or an acronym, then you can just put it in over here. I'm going with Mad Mortgages, as this website is already known by the public with this name. Then over here we can change the tagline. That doesn't influence SEO that much, but you can change it of course if you want. And then we can change the title separator. Now let me explain to you what a title separator actually is. In the search engine result page, that is a listing, we can see different kind of things. First we can see over here the page title, then the separator, then the website name, and under that is the meta description. So this title separator can be changed per post and per page, but this is the default setting. I'm going to put it on this pipe because I just like that one. Then we scroll down and we're going to put in a site image. Now this is important because sometimes we forget to set a featured image and your post or page doesn't have any images at all. Well, in some situations it can be. If you don't have such an image, just create one. Recommended size is 1200 by 675 and then we press on select image. Let's go over here, 1200 by 630. Mwah, should be good, and press select. Here we go. And then over here we can restrict advanced settings for authors. I would suggest you keep this enabled. If you're just the only one on your website, it really doesn't matter. But if you have authors on your website, if you disable this one, then they are able to put pages and posts on no index. So you tell the search engine, do not put this in your search engine list. And that's very important. So just keep it enabled and then we're good. Usage tracking, we don't want it. So we press Save Changes. Then we scroll up again and we go to site representation. Then we have our site representation, which is intended to appear in a Google Knowledge Graph. We have the organization name, we have an alternate name over there, and that's basically it we all can do. Also change your social media platforms. If you want to use Mastodon to verify your website, you can do this with SEO Premium or do it manually. Then over here are only Yoast SEO Premium functions. So we're going to leave this, press Save Changes, and then we scroll all the way up, and then we go over here to Site Connections. Here you can verify your website with different search engines and tools. For example, Pinterest and Google Search Console. You can do it this way, so you don't have to do it manually. But if you've already set up Google Analytics by using this tutorial of mine, then of course you don't have to do this because it's all done. Then we're going to close the general settings and we go to the content types. We have different kind of content types on this website. We have the homepage, post, pages and projects. And as you can see, all these settings are basically the same, but you can change them per type. That's very useful. I'm going to show you why. The first one is the homepage. On this specific website, we can change this on the homepage itself. Let's go to posts, and here we can change all the SEO standard settings for our posts. Now, first thing we do is, do you want to show posts in the search results? That's very important. If you don't use any blocks at all at your website ever, then just turn it off because it won't be added to your sitemap and it saves the Googlebot a little bit of crawling through your sitemap. Not that much, but hey, let's keep things clean. If you do have posts on your website because you're creating a blog, then please keep this enabled. Then we can change the SEO title. Now by default, this is the way it's been built up, but you can also enter more variables inside of the title or in your meta description. If you click on insert a variable, you will see the percentage sign and only 4 of these variables. If you want to see all variables, head over to the Yoast website and in here you will see all the variables, custom variables. You can create your own variables. It's really extensive. And of course, you can override these settings per post and per page. I'll be showing this later on. Then we scroll down and we have a social media appearance. And this is only for Yoast SEO Premium. And then we have over here the schema settings. Now the page type and the article type, you can change these of course per page. In this case, the article type, if you're using blog posts, social media posting, or maybe you're creating news on your website, tag articles, then you can change them to the right one. If you don't know exactly what you have or it's not in here, you can choose blog post or just keep it on article default. And then we can enable SEO controls and assessments. Of course, we want that. And then we can press Save Changes. And then we scroll up and then we have for pages and projects the exact same settings for your website. So this way we can just change them if you want to. Well, projects, I don't have any projects on this website, so I'm going to disable this entire section. Press Save Changes. And then we're going to close the content types because we've already done this. And we go to categories and tags. All these settings are exactly the same, but if you press on Show More, you will see that you have a lot of types, tags, project tags, categories inside of your website that might be put into your XML sitemap if you have one of those. Well, what do you want to show and what do you want to hide? If you go to categories, you will see that this taxonomy is used for posts. So if you have a blog, then you have categories, and of course you want to show categories in the search results. You can change the default SEO title in here. Now it's term title, archive, page separator, site title. But maybe you don't want to use the word archives in your title because you don't like it. That's possible. Then you can change it to, for example, all posts about term title and then the page separator, site title. This can work for you. You can change it the way you want. You can also remove this term title and go with category in here. And here you can also change the meta description of the categories. Now, then we scroll down because we have an interesting feature over here. Very important one, which is show the category prefix in the slug. You don't want this, so we want to disable this one. Why? You have your website URL, then comes category, and after that comes the category name and then the post URL. Well, it's just a little bit too much. And if you have a lot of pages and posts with different kind of categories, just keep this disabled. Then we press Save Changes and we go all the way up. And then we also have over here another categories, which is the layout category. If you click on this one, you can see where it actually goes. It's in the Divi library. There we have categories for the layouts. Well, this is not for the search engine. It's only to make the Divi theme work. So we're going to disable this also. And then finally, we also have here tags, layout tag, which is also for the Divi library. So I'm going to disable this one. Then we press Save Changes and we're going to close this one. And then finally, we go to Advanced. Over here, we have crawl optimization. Now, by default, WordPress creates a lot of clutter that search engines needs to plow through to get to your content. All these things can be safely turned off. So it's all a lot of technical information, but usually we don't need this, and it will save electricity, it will save trees, better for the environment. So we're just going to turn all these things off. And then we are here at the disable unwanted content formats. I really like these features because WordPress by default is creating a lot of different feeds for all different kind of things. And that all costs you crawl budget from Google. And well, when the budget is gone, it will not crawl your website even further. You have to wait another day or another week. So let's just remove all these global feeds, the common feeds over there, post authors, post types. It will not remove those functionalities, but it will remove all those feeds that are just not intended for your end users. Here we go. And then we are here at the remove unused resources. As you know, the less resources you load in, the faster your website is. In this case, we can remove emoji scripts. If you don't use emojis in your post or page, turn it on and it will be removed. If you're not a developer, you won't be using the WP-JSON API, so you just can remove this one. Then we can also prevent the Google Ads bot from crawling your website. If you're not running Google Ads, enable this one. If you're not sure if you ever will do that, keep this off or else things won't work. And in a couple of years, you will be adding ads to your site and you'll think, why is it not working? Because it has been blocked. So then we scroll down and then we are at the internal site search cleanup. Your search function on your website is very important and it is very beneficial for your visitors. But sometimes this can be abused by SEO spammers. So that's why you can filter search terms. You can, for example, change the max number of characters to allow in searches. If you put this on 50, it is great. People can still do their searches, but spammers won't get any chance. Then we can also filter searches with emojis and special characters that normal visitors will never use. And then we can also filter searches with common spam patterns. Nice. Keep this enabled. And then we need to redirect pretty URLs to the raw format. Enable this one. Why? Because this is way more universal. It works way better with analytics services. and it saves a lot of resources from your website and your hosting company. And then the last option of this section is prevent crawling of internal site search URLs. You should only enable this if you're being attacked by SEO search spammers. Then you should enable this one. Normally, most websites do not enable this one. Just keep it off. Then we have the advanced URL cleanup. Well, there is a warning in here, and that's not by coincidence. There is not a standard setting that is best for all websites, so just keep it untouched or else things might break big time. Just press over here, Save Changes, and then we scroll all the way up and we go on the left side to the breadcrumbs. Now, breadcrumbs are very important for your visitors so they can easily navigate throughout your website, but also for the search engines. Now, here we can change the separator between the breadcrumbs, the anchor text for the home page, the prefix. Here you can all change it, archives, you search for your 404 pages. All these things can be changed. If you want that, just keep it like this. And then you can also enable bold the last page, which it's just a matter of preference. If you think this is more accessible for your users, keep it on. And then we have over here the breadcrumbs for post types. If you have a lot of blogs and in different kind of categories, you might want to have categories also inside of your breadcrumb because it makes navigating easier. But if you don't use categories that people can navigate via category to your blog post, then just keep it on none. The same is for project. You can use project categories or even tags. If you're using them, it totally depends on how you let users navigate throughout your menus. Then we scroll down. We have also breadcrumbs for taxonomies. The same thing applies to here. Most of these things are not necessary for this website, so I'm keeping them all on none. And the last option here is enable breadcrumbs for your theme. Now, this will not impact the use of widgets, blocks, or shortcodes. Well, we can do this by copying a code inside of our theme, but we can also add shortcodes to our website, which might be a little bit easier. Just copy this one, just go somewhere on your website, add in a new module. There we go. Add in the shortcode over there. We go to design. We're going to change it a little bit to make it our global orange color. Beautiful. Then we're just going to drag and drop it somewhere like here. Now, when I now save this page, and then I can easily navigate throughout my website. Of course, you need to style this and change this, put it somewhere else, but now you know how to add in the breadcrumb of Yoast. So when you enable this feature, it will automatically put those breadcrumbs somewhere on your website that you might not want. So I would suggest to keep this disabled and just add them in manually. If you're just using the Gutenberg editor, you can just use blocks and all will be great, so you don't have to use it. Press Save Changes. And then we scroll all the way up and we go to author archives. Now this is very important. If you only have one author on your website, it might be you need to disable this. Or else your author, in this case author/Matt, will be exactly the same as your homepage. Duplicate content. We don't want it. So we just press disable. Here we go, problem solved. If you have multiple authors on your blog, then you can enable this one, and because people can click on the author and see who they are and which articles they wrote on your site. For this website, I'm just going to keep everything off and press Save Changes. And then we go over here to date archives. It's been recommended to disable date archives because it's actually pretty irrelevant nowadays. So press Save Changes and then we go to Format Archives. Now for most websites you can just disable this unless you're a developer, but then you know what formats are and you can decide for yourself. And then we go to the Special Pages. Here you can change the page title of search pages. You can change your search for and then the search phrase and then the page separator or site title. I sometimes change it to search phrase results page and then the separator and then the site title. You can do anything you want, just keep it standard if you don't want to change it. That's all good. Then you have the 404 error page. Should be great, just keep it like this. Press Save Changes and we go to Media Pages. When you upload images and files to your WordPress website, WordPress automatically create a media attachment URL page. I don't know why they do it, but they still do it. Yoast SEO automatically disable this, so that's good. Keep it off because we actually don't need it and it creates a lot of clutter for your website. Then we go over here to the last options, RSS. Now, if you don't know what this is, then you're great. Then we go to the next step, integrations over there. If you do know what RSS is and you use it yourself, you can choose to put content before, after, and use some variables. All right, we have talked about all the settings in here. Let's go to integrations. There we go. Here we can enable or disable integrations with different kind of plugins and systems that we use. If you, for example, are using SEMrush, just keep this enabled. If you don't know what this is, you should really follow my tutorial over here, because SEMrush is one of the most advanced SEO tools on the planet. And in this in-depth tutorial, I will show you everything you need to know about SEMrush, how to start, what to learn from it, how to benefit from it. It is an amazing system. But if you don't use it right now, just disable this one. Also with Windshare, if you're not using it, just disable it over there. Then we scroll down and you can see if you have any of these plugins like Events Calendar and all these things, then they are enabled by default. Also with different kind of plugins like Elementor or Algolia or ACF, it's all connected with Yoast SEO. Keep them on if you use them. And then we go over here to Tools. Here we can import and export settings. If you click on it, you go to the import tool. Here you can import settings from other Yoast SEO installations from another website, or you're just going to export it from this website. And then when you're deploying new sites, just paste it in over here, import settings, and you're good to go. But if you have other SEO plugins, you can go to here. Here we can import our data and settings from other SEO plugins. For example, if you have ever run RankMath on this website, there is RankMath in this list, and you can import all the settings from here. Then we need to check the data, go through the first time configuration again, and then finally we can clean it all up. I'm not gonna use RankMath on this website anymore, so I press on Clean Up. Now, then the last things to see over here is the Yoast Academy. You can unlock it, start courses for beginners. It's really nice to learn a lot about SEO. Over here you have the upgrade tab. We can go to Yoast SEO Premium, but we can also go to local SEO, video SEO, news SEO, and buy everything. If you want me to cover the SEO Premium version, drop it down in the comments and I will be glad to help you. Then the last couple of things, we have workouts, which is only for premium, and also redirects, which is also a premium feature in Yoast. And finally, we have the support. If you have questions, you can go to here and find any answer that you want. But also on their website, they have a very extensive database with knowledge and a lot of explaining, also with videos, so they can help you out with every question that you have. Alright, we have set all these things up. Now it's time to really start optimizing our pages and posts. Let's first start with our pages. Now, in the overview, now we can see all different kind of things. We have these traffic lights and we have the readability score over here, the SEO title, meta description, key phrases. All these things are new inside of our overview, which is great. Now, we have within our website different kind of pages. Now, a common question I get is, do you optimize every single page? Well, yes, but the one a little bit more heavier than the other one. For example, the About Us page. Let's click on Edit. If we scroll down, we can see over here the Yoast SEO settings. First of all, we always start with the focus key phrase. On what sentence or word or key phrase do you want this page to be found in the search engines? The About page, well, to be honest, it will never really pop up in Google when you search on About, because that's just strange. So we're gonna use the key phrase About, but this is only an indication that you have known, hey, we have went through the SEO settings. This page will never rank on About, but it's not the purpose of this page, so that's just fine. Then we have the search appearance. We can review it as desktop or mobile. Well, let's always go with mobile, because a lot of people are searching on their mobile first. Then we can change the SEO title. By default, title, page, separator, site title, and it looks like this: About Us, Mortgage 2024. But what I want to have in here is Let's Talk, as that is my brand name for this website. Then the slug is the URL, so keep it like this or you will change this one. And then we have the meta description, which is this text over here. Now when you start typing, you will see that there is a bar below it, and it will turn from orange to green. And after that, when you keep just on rambling, it will turn to orange again, and Google will break it off in the search results. So what you need to do over here is create a description of this page that actually is good and is also in the green zone, so it will be shown entirely in the search engine. There are a couple of rules about the titles and the meta description. I will talk to you about this in the next optimization, because we're going to optimize a real landing page that I want to have in the search engines to be found by possible prospects. But for the About Us page, this is perfect. Now, then we scroll down and then we have the SEO analysis. If we click on this, we can see what is going on our website and different kind of problems and improvements we can do on our page. We need some internal links, we need some key phrase in introduction, meta description, and the text length is way too short. All of this can be ignored with pages like the About page and the Contact page, because we don't want to let those pages get a really high ranking in Google, because it's just not relevant. So now we press on Save over there, and then we go back to all pages, because now I'm going to show you how to optimize a page that I want to have in these search engines. Here we go. Then we can see that, hey, we have done this. We have a meta description, we have a key phrase, we have no outgoing internal links and no incoming internal links to this page. And all these things are relevant, but not on the About Us page. Let's go to another page. We have the benefits for first-time home buyers. This sounds like a page that I want to optimize and get it into Google, so people search on benefits for first-time home buyers. This is great. So scroll down. Now we start with the focus key phrase. Of course, what do you want people to type into Google and then they find this page? It is benefits for first-time home buyers. That's exactly the reason why I created this page. Then we scroll down and we go to the search appearance. Very important. Now we can change the title, because what's very important in here is that your key phrase is all in the front of your title. In this case, benefits for first-time home buyers, it's in there, but maybe you also want to add in 2025. So benefits for first-time home buyers for 2025. And I'm going to change the site title to Let's Talk Mortgages. But then on the next section, I can see the slug is 7 benefits for first-time home buyers. If this is still correct, keep it on, and you can even change it in the SEO title and maybe also in the focus key phrase. But in this case, I'm just going to change the slug because now I already have 6 or 8, so that's great. When I press save now, it will be automatically changed inside of my website, so that's great. And then we go to create a real awesome meta description. Very important, make sure that people click on that description because they want to learn what you're talking about. But if I just put in my focus key phrase all in the front, it might be the best for SEO, but in this case, it doesn't read well and it feels a bit like spammy. Again, benefit for first-time home buyers. No, something like this. Learn about the 7 benefits for first-time home buyers that you can make use of. Learn from our expert because smart home buyers save tons. That sounds like a page I really want to check out. Let's go to the SEO analysis. And then we scroll down and you can see that the key phrase distribution is only available in the premium version. And then we have the key phrase in introduction. That's a problem. Your key phrase is not appear in the first paragraph. We will be fixing that in just a second. Then we don't have the key phrase in our subheadings. Make sure to use it in H2 and H3. Very important for SEO, so put it in there. Not too much, but it must be still readable, but I'm going to show you in just a second. And there's another problem. You are linking to another page with the words you want this page to rank for. That's not good. You should always link to this page with those links, so we're going to fix that later on. All right, then we have 13 good results. Let me walk you through them one by one so you know exactly what is happening when you're not doing a great job. We have outbound links. Those are links from this page to other websites. Google doesn't like a dead end, so you need to refer to other sites, other sources. That's just great to do that. Then we have the image key phrase, which is basically that you have added images to your page with also the alt text contains the key phrase. Very important to do so. We have multiple images on there, so that's great. We also have internal links, so that means other pages are linking through this page with the same keyword, the benefits for first-time home buyers. That's very important. And also on this page are links to other pages on my website. Should be in there. Then we have the key phrase density. This was found 3 times, and this is great. It's also possible that Yoast says that you are using too much, you are over-optimizing it. Then remove it a couple of times because it doesn't read well and Google thinks you are trying to influence the search engines, and that's something they don't like. Then we also have the key phrase in the title. Great. The key phrase length is good. The key phrase in the meta description is in there. The meta description length is also great. You have not used this key phrase before because you shouldn't, or else you get competition within your own pages. So, hey, which page do you want to rank? This one, but this one is also pretty good. Doesn't work like that. Keep it all very clean and lean. Then we have our key phrase in the slug, in the URL. The text length is great for this page, and the SEO title width is great. Now the SEO title width is actually over here. The title, because if I start to use different kind of letters, Google only has a certain space allowed. And when we scroll down, we can see it pop up as a problem. And then you will see this in these search engines, which you don't want to have. So let's keep it clean like this one. All right, the SEO analysis, all is green. So that looks pretty great. Then we can also go to cornerstone content. If this is a very important and extensive article on your website, we can mark this as cornerstone content. If you do this, you get a lot of recommendations from Yoast SEO that will tell you to link other pages to your corner content, because it's one of the most important pages that you want to have ranked within Google. So we're just going to turn this on for this page, and then you will see something changes inside of your improvement. For example, now the text length is too short for a cornerstone page. We want to have it bigger, longer, more content, more extensive. So that should be fixed. Then we scroll down further and we can see also the advanced options. We can allow search engines to show this content. Yes. Follow these links. Yes. All these things. Don't bother with them, just keep it off, and that's all great. And then another very important one is the insights. The prominent words is only visible with SEO Premium, but we also have the Flash Reading Ease score, and it is 59. That means this text is fairly difficult to read. Try to make shorter sentences using less difficult words to improve readability. Also in here, the reading time is approximately 4 minutes because we have 825 words. Very nice to see. Alright, then we need to fix a couple of things, the key phrase in our introduction and in the subheading. So we're going to do that. On this specific page we have the H1 title in here, and then we have some text and all these subheadings, and we have different kind of images and, well, even more information. Well, it was just a dummy text, but so you know. So I'm going to click on this text and I'm going to change it. Your career, your first car, marriage and children. And I'm also going to add it in here, which is an H2. Benefits for first-time home buyers. So now it's also in one of these subheadings and in the text, and I can press save. Another thing I want to show you is the readability in here. If you go to readability, we can see different kind of results from the analysis. In here we can see we have transition words. What are transition words? And so, because all those things, you can click on these explanations to go to the Yoast website, and it will teach you everything about why you should use them more so that your pages read better. We can also change the sentence length. 20% of the sentences contains more than 20 words, which is a little bit too much. So we have to create more short sentences so the readability goes up and Google likes our website even better. Then we have good results. We have the passive voice. We are using enough active voice, so that's good. Click on it if you want to learn more about what it is and how it works. It's really thorough research of Yoast, so very interesting to read. We have enough variety, we're using subheading distribution, and the paragraphs are a great length. Well done. If all these things are great, then you should be pretty good and get all these green things. Then we have the schema markup. We can change the page type, because this page type is just a web page or an about page, FAQ page. What is this exactly? Well, this is a web page, and we can change the article type to a satirical or advertiser, news, social media posting. In our case, it's an article about the 7 benefits, and well, that's basically it. The last thing to change in here is the social tab. We don't have a preview, we have to unlock it with premium, but we can change it everything. Let's add in a social image. Let's add in this one, and we can change the title, something real clickbaity like this, and then add in a description, especially for Facebook or X, and then you can save it, and all is good when people share it on their social media platforms. If you're working on your website, you can also use on the right side this button, and you can see the entire Yoast SEO optimization ideas and on your focus key phrase and all these things that we have in here also on the right side, which works actually great. Now, Yoast SEO is still not fully integrated with Divi. I don't know why that is. It must be because the market share of Divi is just not that big anymore, because we're all going to Elementor, because Divi 5 is taking way too long. If we then go back to our pages, you can see, wow, we have the green light in here. The readability still needs to be improved, but all these things are great. Now it's up to you to optimize your entire website. And after that, make sure to check out this tutorial, and I'll give you a link for 14 days SEMrush completely free.